Good morning, welcome back to On the Road Adventure. We are in Poland at the moment. We spent the night at the kind of, I don't know if I can call it a hotel, sort of.
We spent the night in Nana's back room.
Yeah, something like that. Rich didn't get much sleep. There was a man next door coughing his guts out, but
such is life.
I've heard it, woke up and went back to sleep, so I don't mind. And today we're going to be riding towards Lair, which is in Polish Wolfsschanze. That is Hitler's.
It's famous for an attempted assassination.
So Hitler spent 800 days in there. So there is they made it into a museum, and there's parts of it where you can just freely walk around. So we're gonna head towards there. There's a few other things we want to see on the way. So come along with us. The gravel in here is quite a lot.
Always so nice to get back on your bike in the morning and feel that first breeze of air. It's like pressing a reset button.
More like lunchtime. But
Yeah. Hey, it's 12 o'clock. That's good for us lately. I think if we're both being honest, I think we're getting a little bit tired now. We've been on the road and sleeping in the tent for over a month again. And yeah, it starts to take its effect, eating whatever you can find on the road and, you know, constantly battling challenges.
yeah, we have a plan to reach my family in the next 2-3 days, where we're gonna have a bit of a stop for editing and taking a rest.
I think that's an excellent plan.
Okay, it should be a left somewhere here into ulica Cmentarna. Yeah, right here. It's the end of the road. Yeah, that's here on your right. We are in the village of Jedwabne in Poland, and we are standing by the monument which was created in memory of all the Jewish people that were local to this area, that were burnt alive in a barn. And there is a lot of history to it, a lot of controversial history which you should follow up. And this is not exactly the spot where it happened, but is nearby, so it's unclear to me where exactly it happened. But there is also on the monument, it's very simple, it's got Hebrew and Polish writing on it. There's a lot of flowers because it happened on 10th of July 1941, so every year on 10th of July people would visit and come here. So there is a piece of wood which is charcoaled. I don't believe it's original, but it is to represent the burning of the barn with the Jewish people, women, men and children.
That burnt piece of wood is so simple and effective. It gets a very clear message across as to what happened here. And like Eva says, we don't know whether it's original or not, and it almost doesn't matter.
This one got very famous because I think the truth was covered up for many years and it was quite unclear. I did read that some of the Polish people were either helping the Germans or they actually orchestrated it all by themselves and then plundered all the Jewish homes. Some people have been prosecuted, some people have been sentenced to death, but that's under the Soviet ruling of Poland, so I don't really know how to trust that. So yeah, and there was another historian which just in recent years uncovered more truth, which we should dive deep into if you're interested.
It never ceases to amaze me what humans will do to each other. Hundreds burnt alive in a barn here just because they were Jewish.
Yeah. just leaving the memorial place. We met a lovely Polish couple, and they were telling us how much they wanted to see the memorial and how they watched some movies about it. And then also she told me that there was a man that she met in this village just now when asking for directions, and he immediately proceeds to convince them how the Polish population from this area had nothing to do with the mass murder, which obviously is a warning light, because the more you try to explain it to somebody and make them believe your story, that probably means you are lying. So yeah, it is huge evidence to say that the Polish people who lived in this area were behind the killings and then grabbing whatever they could from the dead.
In other news, we're heading now off to the Wolf's Lair, and we lost another 15 minutes or so trying to get the Garmin to actually take us there. Google Maps finds it no problem at all, but the Garmin's just not having any of it, so we've had to pick a town nearby, and hopefully we'll be able to find it ourselves when we get there. But these Garmin Zumu XTs have been 100% a letdown once again on this trip, and they will be going in the bin when we get home.
It's very frustrating, you know. It just gets you to a point where you just want to have a cheap mobile phone fixed in and just have that. And I actually seen people who do that doing just that.
Yeah, I agree. The phone seems to find everything that we want, and it seems to do it well. The answer is probably to get a quad lock, and as Eva says, a cheap phone, because the important thing is you don't want to put your good iPhone on the handlebars, because should you have an accident and break the phone, you've now broken your way of getting help, unless you've got a Garmin InReach or similar. We're entering a new region in Poland now, which is apparently the Polish Lake District, and because of the lakes, along comes all the tourism and campsites and stuff, so things should change around here, which will make a pleasant change. Suddenly we started seeing a lot of motorbikes around here as well. I've noticed that MT-07 seems to be a really popular bike here. I've seen loads of those. We've got about an hour left to the Wolf's Lair, so we'll try to find one of these amazing all-in petrol stations, and then we can get fuel and food for ourselves and be on our way to get there. Oh, it's a good one, it's a good one. We have come across our favourite petrol station, All In. These are all good. All In on the All In tour. Loving it. These are good. Get petrol, a wee, a coffee and a hot dog all in one hit. Ideal.
And you can charge your phone.
And you charge your phone off the table, yeah.
Oh, everything hurts. Oh God. I don't think I can move.
Bolly duper.
Everything bolly.
Which means my arse hurts in Polish. Bolly duper.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the first things you learned.
It was, yeah.
Can't very use it anywhere, but hey.
Hot dog with mustard, happy days. Double espresso, happy days. Cold drink and a pea, and we are ready to roll. 45 minutes left to the Wolf's Lair. Well, this part of Poland seems to be improving. We've got corners in the road now, and there's lakes each side between the trees. You probably can't see that. Quite a nice area to ride. Sat-nav's telling me it's 40 kilometers an hour along this 90 kilometers an hour road. Doing a great job as always, Sat-nav. Oi, drama, what we got going on here? Cars all over the shop here. Been having a smash up today.
So we found out that in Wolf's Lair you can see the premises and everything, and also they have a campsite which we are planning to stay on unless it's really bad, but I think you'll be okay. I couldn't find any pictures or information really apart from prices. Everything that Hitler has built was on 250 hectares in this forest where we are right now. Massive. Left, 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 left.
Right, well we've arrived at the entrance of the Wolf Lair, and I have to say, first of all, we were greeted by a specific area for parking the motorbikes.
Yes.
And in that area, there was lockers for you to lock away your helmet and your boots and
For
stuff.
less than 50p, and I think you get your 50p back.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So we are now walking around in our Crocs, which is ideal because, yeah, we don't want to be wearing the boots all day and, yeah, walking around.
And then there is so much to look at. Look at this, for example.
Yeah, look at the...
You have different cars.
Oh yeah, so what's going on here?
Okay, so they have a lot of military vehicles, and you can book a ride in this. I've seen it on the website, and you could also book a photo shoot. Obviously, if you had more time, we don't have the time. You could make an arrangement, and they'll give you like clothing, guns, and everything, and you can have a photo shoot.
Now you tell me what you do with a picture of yourself dressed as a Nazi sat in a tank.
I did think about it
what you do with that.
I don't know whether you're dressed as a Nazi or a Polish or whatever, but I did look at those pictures and I thought, yeah, but why?
That's a bit tasteless, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's go
It's
see
just
what's
a way
there.
to make money, isn't it?
Look at us two doing the
Look like
touristy
proper
thing.
two tourists. Yeah. And you know what? I always, when we travel, I feel guilty for not doing enough touristy stuff because we're always paranoid about leaving the bikes, right?
Right.
Today, look at me, I'm a full-on tourist.
Yeah, Crocs and all.
I even got Crocs.
Yeah, headphones, we look like a right couple of prize pricks, don't we?
Prize jet.
So what we'll do is we'll listen to these audio guides and we'll just tell you the short bits that we think's entertaining, and at the end we'll decide, well, you decide for yourself whether it's worth visiting or not.
So this is just the start of the walk, and in the building behind us, that's where the security would be, and they would be checking all of the vehicles and things coming in for potential threats.
Route planning, that sort of thing.
Route planning and stuff. And also on that tree over there, you probably cannot see it, we can hardly see it ourselves, there is a wire, and the whole place would be covered, the wires will be on the trees, and there will be like a camouflage hanging down covering the whole place, and the different colors of the camouflage would change according to the seasons and all that, all to conceal it and protect the area.
This is the barracks behind us where the assassination attempt began, and we just learned about Claus Stauffenberg.
It's Stauffenberg, yeah.
Claus Stauffenberg. Anyway, he's a fellow that had been fighting for Hitler and had believed in it for some time, but as things got worse, his ideas started to change. And,
yeah, so it's him and many other Germans who were in like the sort of top level of military, and not only, they basically knew that Hitler is not right and they were against his ideas. So that's why the assassination took place. Sadly, Hitler was only lightly wounded. So the building actually looks quite bad if you Google it, how it looked like. And
they tried to assassinate him by placing a bomb in a meeting room
under the chair, under the table, and that obviously didn't work out. Klaus escaped but was shot within 24 hours, and many others who knew about the assassination, so sadly they didn't survive.
Hitler went through great lengths to conceal this area and protect it, and they put down a lot of mines in the woods and the forests around us. And this is a monument to the Polish people who lost their lives, actually removing the mines after the war to make the area safe again.
Look at that stairs. So this was the corridors. It's all creepy.
So we're in the corridor of the big building that was built to house important people when they came to visit the Wolf Lair. And there was a train track that actually goes through the middle of the site, and that's how they brought foreign dignitaries and things to and from the Wolf's Lair,
So
along with supplies.
many important leaders from other countries like Mussolini have visited and stayed in here. They must have felt secure, I think.
Although it looks really intact from the outside, the interior is completely destroyed.
Yeah, so when the war was ending, the Germans have carried out controlled explosions from inside the bunkers. Therefore, everything, the interior of the bunkers were destroyed. It's sad because it'd be interesting to see how it looked like back then.
Imagine the people that will walk through there. This is the stenographer's bunker, where all the messages and codes and everything would come through, and everything would be typed up. This is the admin area of the Wolf's Lair. This huge building behind us is known as Bormann's bunker. Bormann was Hitler's right-hand man and probably the second most important person here at the Wolf's Lair. And we can see that it is basically a box with inside a bigger box, and in between was an area of crushed stone, and they thought it would be impenetrable. I don't know whether it was ever tried out or not, but yeah, my guess is it probably is from any aerial assault. We are standing inside what's left of Hitler's bunker. It was 5 meters thick all around. It had no windows or outside ventilation, and it was kept very basic, as Hitler believed that he shouldn't be in exceptional conditions during wartime.
Well, I have to say that it's just the magnitude of it, it's just impressive. I mean, you just have to see it for yourself.
What's amazing is just how big it is when you're standing in, how
It's
huge these
huge.
concrete buildings are, and yet from above and from all around, as you'll see, this is very difficult to spot.
Difficult to spot, yeah, and that was their aim, to be basically as invisible as possible. And also, if you look at the maps of what was inside the bunker, it doesn't actually look very spacious, because most of the space would be taken by the walls and extra protection, and you can see all the extra metal that has been used, and yeah.
And this, from above, is without the camouflage.
A friend told us that if the buildings and statues have not been destroyed towards the end of the war, they were destroyed after. Anything that had to do with Hitler, like this building, just to prevent those places becoming a shrine or anything for neo-Nazis to worship Hitler. To climb up there, go into the bunker, and then come out the other side. You're so easily convinced, aren't you?
Was you lying?
No, I'm serious. I saw 2 blokes and a dog walk into that door and came out there. take the camera with you so you can film it.
Fucking shit's gonna fall on my head in a minute, it'll be your fault.
It's fine.
So I'm now inside one of the main bunkers.
Look who's breaking the rules.
No rules to be broken if you can't see the sign, is there?
You're lucky that SS ain't here. So we are looking at the remains of the tea house and not some tiles, so we can have an idea what it was like inside a little bit. This is the camouflage netting we were talking about earlier. So be all covered in it, near impossible to find. Actually, you can go inside this bunker. It was only superficially destroyed.
This bunker belonged to the commander of the German Luftwaffe.
So we can walk the whole length of the bunker. And this is steps to the gun. You can see just how high it goes. Apparently the atmosphere in the bunker was always pretty damp and the airflow was to minimum just in case there was any chemical attack. And here is Goring in the white suit. He was the boss of the Luftwaffe. And that was his bunker. Overall unpleasant to be here. As I said, because of the airflow was restricted. They were all scared about the chemical attacks and all sorts. But it gives you an idea of how big these buildings are from outside, but actually not much going on inside. So as I mentioned, Hermann Goring was there, and even the audio guides just said the construction of this bunker was so simple but so robust, even their own German people couldn't destroy it when the time came to destroy all the possible evidence. So yeah, quite good. And apparently there is remains of the house of Hermann Goring.
Must be around this way, is it?
But the guide said, I think it's on the path. And I just said to Rich, why would you need the house if you just had the whole bunker built for you? But I'm guessing it was so horrible inside there that you wouldn't really live there constantly. There's not much air going on. Right, so this is Goring's house. And he was complaining about how unpleasant it was living in the bunker. Therefore, he had this house. Turns out it wasn't only Hermann Goring who hated Wolf's Lair. It was all the other ones that were in decision and positions in the army. They also chose to live in different places, some of them even as far as 100 kilometers from here, and Hitler didn't really like that.
Goring fell out of Hitler's favour when the German Luftwaffe started losing, and so that's the main reason he moved out of the Wolf's Lair, and he lived about 100 kilometres away from here.
Makes sense. You wouldn't want to be close to Hitler then?
No. One of the very few buildings that were not destroyed and the only remaining barrack at the Wolf's Lair, and we can go inside now. So this is inside the communication bunker, which Hitler described as the most important bunker on the site. So from just outside we can see just how thick the wall was before we got to inside the room where the people were.
Come on, Rich, run. It's almost 8 o'clock. We spent hours in here and we had a look around the campsite. There's a campsite inside we'll show you in a minute. And there's nothing wrong with it. And when I was trying to buy a ticket earlier, the guy was like, oh, just have a look first.
It's actually, I've been into the toilets there and it's very clean and tidy.
Yeah, so...
Better than a lot of the sites we stayed at.
I've been told it's 75 zloty, which is...
cheap.
Not even £20.
Yeah.
Let's get a ticket.
Space.
And we can camp. We don't really have much food, so I will ask them if I can leave and go shopping and come back. We are the only 2 bikes left.
That's always the way.
Always last.
Always the last ones to leave, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you may remember when we first arrived, I said about how impressed I was with the lockers to put the stuff in. I'll show you that in a minute. We just noticed on our way out, there's a station here with tools all fixed. And a pump, Allen keys and spanners and things, look, screwdrivers. That is one of the most helpful things I've seen at any place yet.
Very good.
These are the lockers that I mentioned.
And you get your 2 zlotys back. What's the point then?
I think this is absolutely brilliant. And if this place can put this simple thing on that makes such a difference to us bikers, you know, every other place should be putting this on. It really should. You know, the tool station over there, that should be at every motorcycle dealership and biker cafe hangouts and all the rest of it. Really good.
And guess what's my job?
Your job?
I'm responsible for bringing some food because all we has is tin of beans.
I'm happy with a tin of beans. We've got some stale bread.
No.
Beans on toast, that is.
No.
Eva's not convinced that she's going to go to the shops and I'm going to put up the tent.
Do you know what? You can eat the beans and then get myself a kebab or a pizza or something like that.
Well, if you're going anyway, you better get me a kebab or something.
Of course I will.
Yeah, you do that. I'm going to blow up the beds and whatnot.
So, the tent is up and there is a fire in the background. This is pretty nice. I don't know if you can see the fire.
I am very impressed with this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, for hosting. And they haven't fleeced us on money either, like most places in UK attractions and things.
No.
You know, we are camping in the Lair tonight. The facilities are fantastic. Really clean toilets and showers. You know, there's facilities for making a fire and stuff and benches and yeah, it's really, really good here. If you're going to come visit here, spend the night here if you're camping. Right,
I'm going
let's get our jobs done.
On a quest.
Yeah.
By myself and the sat-nav.
Oh, bugger the sat-nav, you need Google Maps.
Yeah, no.
Wait for me to do the beds and I'll come with you.
No, I'm okay by myself.
I'm only going to have to find you later. I've got a location on Eva's phone, she's got mine. Yeah. So if we get lost from each other, we can find each other.
When I started riding, I said to Rich that I want him to see where I am because I'm sure I'll need help at some point.
Yeah, she wasn't wrong, that happens a lot. Come on. Home sweet home. All set up.
Home sweet home tent.
Yeah, and Eva's back.
And I'm back. No drama stories. I only had like a very, very large audience of blokes outside the Kebab when I was leaving. And I had to turn around and I thought, I'm not doing that here. So I just carried on. But
you're on the road.
I probably added like 2 minutes to my journey. And I said to the lady, how big is the smoked kebab? And she goes like, well, something like this. Okay, give me a medium then. This is a medium kebab in the wrap. Right, look at this.
That is ridiculous.
This is a medium kebab. So 2 of them, I asked for the extra salad and extra sauce. It was, altogether, it was £8 just short of.
That's mad, isn't it?
Can you imagine? I mean,
it does feel like things are.
I mean, I'm sorry, but 1 is enough.
Yeah.
This is massive. This is a mistake.
Well, better to have more than we need. Right, chow down time.
Chin chin with the kebab.
Let's see what we got here. Look at the size of this thing.
Jesus Christ. I think Do you know what we might do?
Oh, that is ridiculous.
You're supposed to like eat one for the both of us and offer one to somebody. This may be your breakfast sorted too.
For a week, it's ridiculous. Imagine what a large one is then, if that's medium.
I don't know. It could be one of them scams. Both of us have been defeated by a kebab.
Yeah, we didn't eat that. About our piece, yeah.
Yeah.
Eva asked an interesting question just now. So obviously we're still sat here in the Wolf's Lair, thinking about all the things we learnt today about Hitler.
Yeah, when I was riding with the kebabs, I thought, this is the same route people were delivering food for Hitler.
Yeah. So Eva says just now, so Hitler committed suicide, but what happened to his body? I said, I don't know. So I Wikipedia'd it. And it turns out that he had given instructions. So he obviously shot himself in the head, and his wife also committed suicide via cyanide poisoning. And then they immediately took their bodies out and burnt them in the garden. And about a year later, the Soviets got hold of his dental remains from the garden and confirmed that it indeed was him, and his remains were there. They were burnt right after.
Again, I don't really believe the Soviets, but apparently that's what happened.
Oh, according to Wikipedia, that's the truth. Tonight's Motocamping has been sponsored on Buy Me a Coffee by Pest in Peace. We're not sure if that's a personal name or a business name, but
cool nickname anyway.
We thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who likes, comments and subscribes in our videos. We'll see you again in the next one. Love you, bye.